Media Evaluation by Ashley Ross. The first question in which I was proposed with for this evaluation was, in what way does your media product use, develop, or challenges forms and conventions for real media products? At the start of my research and planning for my magazine, I looked into different magazines such as pop magazines, R&B magazines, and rock magazines, as they were some of the most popular magazines on the market. A few magazines in which I decided to annotate more were Top of the Pops, We Pop, and Pop. Some of the things in which I learned from looking at these types of magazines are that they generally use bright colours in their headings and strapline. There are also one aspect of the focus image that interlinks with the colour scheme. I also found out that the magazine generally features girls who are often wearing outfits that are very fashionable. And last but not least, another thing I found out was that these magazines are always featuring beauty tips and products. R&B was the second genre in which I chose to research and look more into. The magazines in which I found most interesting are Vibe magazine, Billboard, and Paper magazine. From looking at these three magazines, some of the things in which I learnt from the magazines were the fact that the artists are always the focus point of the magazine front cover. I also saw that there are often very small amounts of bright colours in the writing, and often there isn't enough mastheads and strapline, as the editor of the magazine may be more reliant on the picture of the celebrity to sell. Last but not least, I chose to look into rock, as these magazines are often very fun and they vary, which helps to cover a wide but yet niche audience. The magazine in which I looked into more detail about are the Kerrang magazine, Q magazine, and NME magazine. Some of the information in which I found out about these magazines were that the instruments are mostly the biggest feature in the main photo, giving the reader more of an idea of the genre. The colours are often red, giving the reader or the potential buyer a sense of danger and curiosity. The title or the strapline often associates with the colour which may be featured in the picture. The model or artist's face are often very pale in order to contrast with the makeup, hair, outfit, or even the eye colour of the artist. After all my analysing, I decided to base my magazine on the rock genre, linking it to Q and NME magazine. I chose to do this as it was very different and I would find it easy to incorporate my individuality by adding a picture of a pretty girl with muscular features such as her clothes and attire. Incorporates a glamorous look through her lips and her body shape, but giving this a twist with the props and proximity of her body shape, etc. I would also be able to add any forms of strapline, as the theme of rock isn't very established. The second question in which I will be answering today is, how does your media product represent particular social groups? The first thing in which I came up with was that the particular social group in which my magazine links to is young people, as the picture in the front of my magazine is of a young person. Also, the straplines on the top of the magazine is referring to a gig in which the artist will be going on. This is really appealing to more the younger age group. The drums on the front of the magazine held the attraction of people who plays different forms of instruments. Putting the girl on the front cover of the magazine, who is wearing fashionable clothes, also helped to grab the attention of most of our target audiences. The particular people in which wear bright colours and also have emo tendency were some of the people in which I chose to ask my questions to, as I was able to then change it and tweak my magazine to what they would prefer or like best. Hi.
Hello.
How old are you?
18.
Okay. Looking at my magazine, what type of genre do you think this magazine is?
Rock.
Why do you think it's rock?
Because of the colour contrast going on. It's black and white and red.
Hello.
Hello,
How old are you?
I'm 18.
And looking at my magazine, what type of genre do you think this magazine is?
I would say that is rock. Pop rock. Rockish rock.
Okay. Hi Sam.
Hello.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
And looking at this magazine, what type of genre do you think this magazine is?
Rock, punk, heavy metal genre.
And if you saw this magazine in the store, would you purchase it at all?
Yeah, for the price.
If you saw this magazine in the store, would you purchase it?
No,
Why wouldn't you purchase it?
because I'm not into rock, into that sort of genre.
And if you saw this magazine in the store, would you purchase it?
Yes, I would.
Okay. What would you add to this magazine to make it more eye-catching and more appealing to you?
I would say the colour. I would say more colour.
What would you add to this magazine to make it more eye-catching?
I would add in maybe a rock band or a rock group member that I would be aware of, but not listen to, like 30 Seconds of Mars. Just somebody that I'd be aware of.
What would you add to this magazine to make it more eye-catching and more appealing to you?
A bit more colour, it seems a bit bland.
Okay. What target audience do you think the colours, theme and the layout is suitable for?
Rock people? Young people.
Okay.
Young people, not old people, because, yeah.
And do you think that my strapline grabs your attention and make you want to read more?
No.
If so, why?
Because if I knew the person more, then, you know, I would probably be more interested and maybe a bit more content on explaining who the person is, rather than just what it says.
Do you think my straplines grab your attention at all?
No.
Why not?
Because this is not the sort of genre that I'd usually go for, nor is it the music that I listen to. It wouldn't endear me to read further on.
The third question in my evaluation is, what kind of media institution might distribute your media products and why? The first thing I did before going into answering my question went about finding background information such as what is a media institution. After finding out what a media institution is, I then split it up into different categories such as film, music and video games, so I was able to know and differentiate the different distribution companies. I then went in to look at the different companies which distribute Rock magazine, as this was the same genre as my magazine. I was able to find out which company is best suited to distribute my magazine. The people in which I would choose to distribute my magazine is IPC Magazine Distribution Company, as it is the UK's leading customer print and online magazine publisher with over 85,000 leading printing brands and online audiences of around 20 million users every month, engaging with 26 million adults in the UK only. Another good selling point for me is the fact that this institution mainly distributes online, which is where the biggest market for my particular genre of magazine lies. The fourth question for this media evaluation is, who would be my target audience for my media product? I have really gone into depth and elaborated on the target audience and the different social groups in which my magazine could link to. However, I will go more into detail about the different imagery and traits in the people in which I am aiming my magazine on, in order to give more evidence of the knowledge in which I have retrieved. The target audience's look and imagery features for this magazine is really people who have very dark hair and manly attire, as people who play Rock magazine are often mainly manly. I've also decided that the artist in which I believe best suit the genre of my magazine is Pink from the music video So. The fifth question in which I am asked to answer throughout my evaluation is, how do you attract/address your audience? As you can see on the front cover of my magazine, there are many ways in which I attract my audience. The strap lines in which I use on the top of my heading followed by the arrow pointing down to the name of the artist, really helps to grab the attention of the reader, as not only is it on the top of the page, but also it is followed by a very bright arrow pointing down to the name of the artist, who would be very popular and very much known by the people who will be looking at this magazine. The line underneath the artist's name would also endear the reader to look further into the magazine to see the other artists in which will be featuring at the gigs. The colour scheme of my magazine also grabs the attention of shoppers, as the colour is very bright and contrasting. Searches have shown that bright and contrasting colours, such as red, grabs the human eye and also holds a location in the memory. The picture on the front cover of the magazine is also very well thought about, as the girl with the instrument helps to give the magazine a more approachable look for both male and female. The contents page also has the same colour scheme in the front cover. This also helps to grab the attention of the reader. Inside the contents page, I decided to make the name of the artist in red, as this will help the reader to store the information in their photographic memory. The short stories in which I have got next to the page numbers is also very short and snappy and isn't too revealing, which could attract the reader to buy the magazine as they would like to read more of the full story. The double page spread, on the other hand, has a lot more colour in it. This is able to give the reader more of a chance to visualise what the artist is like, so they're able to relate to the artist when reading the article. However, I have put the same artist, which is on the front cover of my magazine, on the double page spread, so the reader is able to relate to what originally grabbed their attention. The sixth question in which I will be answering today is, what have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? The first thing that technology in which I used was Photoshop. Photoshop helped me to change boring colours and also colours that do not link with the colour scheme of my full magazine, so that it was able to link. I also used Movie Maker to make my video for my evaluation. Some of the equipment in which I use are video cameras, tripods, and high definition Canon camera. The high definition Canon camera helped my pictures for my front cover, contents page and double page spread of my magazine to be a better quality, so that my magazine could look a lot more professional. The tripod, when using the video camera, really helped me, as sometimes I felt that my hands were really unsteady when videoing, and it also gives a more professional look to the videos in which I was doing. The last question of my evaluation is, looking back at your preliminary task, what did you feel you learned in progression of the full product? Some of the things in which I learned from my preliminary task is, better quality photos is vital for making my product look professional. I also learned that lots of research will help me to produce a more eye-catching magazine. I also learned that the use of technology such as Photoshop can help me to make a better focus point in order to help to catch the reader's eye and also get the very professional quality photo in which I will be looking for throughout my magazine.